I don't think I like this. What's good, everybody? Thank you all so much for clicking on the video. I really appreciate it. I wanted to come down here real quick to talk about this Noah versus Kenny situation. Now, as you all know, the USA Track and Field Championships was held this weekend, and on Sunday they had the final for the 200 meters. Noah Lyles ended up winning the race again. He ended up basically walking Kenny down within the last 7 meters, and he ended up winning the race. After the race, Noah kind of stared at Kenny in like a taunting way. To me, it seemed like it was kind of taunting, and Kenny ended up running up behind Noah and pushed him. Now, initially, when I first saw it, I actually was on live on Patreon and I was still watching it live. And when I saw it, I was shocked. But I absolutely, from watching it live, I knew that Noah wasn't in Kenny's lane because Kenny had to actually run up behind Noah to push him. So I knew it wasn't because Noah was in his lane. And as you know, I've ran track before in high school and I also ran in college. If you know anything about track and field, once you get to the finish line, the track is kind of starting over again at the 400 meters, so there's a curve. And so usually you could run straight, but if you continue to run straight from where Kenny was at, he would have ended up in Noah's lane. So I knew it wasn't because Noah was in his lane. Now, if I'm being honest, I didn't like neither. I didn't like neither. I didn't like Noah taunting Kenny, and I also didn't like Kenny pushing Noah because Noah could have really hurt himself. And I feel like if we get to a place where we're starting to put our hands on people, it could end really ugly. But let's start with Noah first. I don't like taunting in track and field. I'm not saying don't celebrate your winning, but to me there's a difference between celebrating and taunting your opponent. Usually when you do something like what Noah did in the 200 meters, the crowd is going to do enough taunting. When I was in high school, it was almost like it was amazing because that's when I noticed in track and field the taunting. Again, I used to watch track and field growing up on TV, but it's nothing like being at a real track meet to see somebody get walked down in like a 4x1 or a 4x4, or just any type of race where a person is like putting their all in and running you down at the end. The crowd is going to be going like, ooh, ooh, and you can hear the person that's eventually is going to lose, or the crowd will let you know what's going on by the track when you hear the live version of what's going on. It's kind of exciting. People are going to be to the edge of their seat. So I don't think that you really need to do that. I'm not really a fan of the taunting. I'm not really a fan of the showboating either, unless there's a world record being broken or some type of record being broken. For instance, when Carmelita Jeter pointed at the clock at the 2012 Olympics in the 4x1, she was breaking the world record. When Elaine Thompson pointed at the clock in 2021 in the 100-meter finals at the Olympics, she was breaking an Olympic record. So that's the difference. And that would be kind of considered showboating, not taunting, because they wasn't pointing at anybody specifically. They was pointing at the clock, right? People got mad at me on Twitter at the Olympics last year when I had called out Sha'Carri. And I'm a fan of Sha'Carri. I'm from Texas. I still watch high school track and field championships every year. So I've been seeing Sha'Carri ever since she was in the 10th grade. She actually won the 100 meters, the 100-meter dash in the state of Texas for 4A in the 10th grade. So I've been seeing Sha'Carri throughout her career ever since she has been in high school. And I feel like, honestly and truthfully, when it comes to Sha'Carri, a lot of people just became Sha'Carri fans not even when she won the Olympic trials in 2021. I believe that people became fans of Sha'Carri once they found out that she failed the drug test because of weed. That's what I really think, because a lot of people don't really pay attention to track and field, can't tell you nothing about track and field, but will argue you down about Sha'Carri. For instance, when I had called her out within the 4x1 last year, Sha'Carri was running an anchor leg, and she kind of looked over at the athletes on the side, and that was kind of taunting the other anchor legs that was on the track. And that's fine. Do what you do. Showboating, taunting, that's fine. But just days before, when Julian Alfred left Sha'Carri in her dust, she literally left Sha'Carri in her dust in the 100-meter final. And Sha'Carri didn't even show up to the press conference afterwards. So specifically from you, I don't want to see any type of taunting or showboating, because when you get beat, you can't even do an interview. It's like a sore loser. You can't even show up for an interview after you get beat. And so I don't want to see no showboating and taunting, it's specifically from you. Now, I will say this, when Noah ended up losing the 100 meters in Jamaica by Oblique Seville last year, I forget what race it was, but Oblique Seville kind of looked at him when he didn't stare him down like Noah did Kenny, but he did look at Noah, and it was everywhere. The picture was everywhere on social media. All Noah said was, "I'll see you in Paris, my friend." And so I will give him that. Noah did kind of make some excuses about, oh, I didn't hear the gun go off, and y'all all heard the same gun. You know, he did make some excuses, but he did go out and he didn't get upset. He didn't push him. He didn't do anything. He just said, "I'll see you in Paris." And we all know now that Noah ended up winning the 100-meter dash in Paris. Now, for my taste, with me, I do think that Noah be doing too much. He be doing too much at the starting line. Last year at the Olympic trials, I remember he was jumping up and down and he landed wrong. He almost rolled his ankle. And I'm like, but the thing is, for me, do what you got to do that's going to make you be a beast on this track, or what you think that will help you win, that'll get your energy up, that'll make you prepare. But I do, for my taste, he do a little bit too much. But the taunting, for me, I just don't like. And this isn't the first time Noah doing this. And I used to be a big fan of Noah Lyles, but I kind of started side-eyeing him at the 2022 U.S. Championships when he pointed at Arian Knighton. What was it? Yeah, it was the U.S. Nationals. He pointed at Arian Knighton in the 200-meter final. And it's like, what are you doing? This kid is a teenager. This boy was like 17, 18 years old, and you pointing at him. You don't get no cool points from that. He will always get cool points for being 17 or 18 years old, coming to, placing second in the USA Nationals, but you don't get any cool points for beating him and pointing at him. And then I believe that it was being said that Noah had apologized to him because Ariane was really upset about that. But you can't really apologize after something like that because those images live forever. I remember even Magic Johnson even tweeting about that after it happened. And people say that it brings excitement to track and field. It does, but I feel like it depends on if that was a rivalry, yeah, but Ariane Knight was a teenager. So I don't, not pointing at him. I'm just not a fan of it. Okay. Now with Kenny, I thought that what Kenny did was foul. And to me, the more I see of Kenny, and especially after season one, I believe it was season one of Sprint, I think that Kenny's a crybaby. I think that Kenny thought that this was going to be his year. And I think that he thought that he was going to double at USA's, and Noah stood in the way. And that's why he pushed him, because he's a crybaby. Again, I did not like him pushing Noah because Noah could have hurt himself. And once we get to a place where we're touching each other, everything can go left. Because if he had pushed the right person, a full-on brawl could have happened on that track. You know what I'm saying? A big old a fight, a brawl could have happened on that track if Noah was somebody else. If, for instance, if he would have pushed Fred Curley, a brawl would have happened on that track. I think that he pushed Noah because he knew that he could push Noah. And then I felt like what Kenny did was kind of pussy because you pushed him. Then you realize what you did in the moment, and then you tried to shake the man's hand. But nigga, you just pushed me. So it's either gonna be one or the other, or apologize. But you did that. Then in the post race interviews in the mix zone, he was making excuses. He was saying, well, he only beat me because he was fresh and he didn't have as many races in his legs. So Noah actually ended up winning the World Championships in 2023 in Budapest in the 100 meters and the 200 meters. So Noah actually has a bye. He didn't have to run at the USA Nationals because he already qualified by being a reigning champion. He did have to run ways, but Noah has also said that the 200 meter was his wife, the 100 meters was his girlfriend, but the 200 meters was his wife. And he has won every USA Nationals since maybe 2019. And so he ran one round of the 100, but there was only 2 rounds in the 200. And so I guess he still wanted to have that on his resume that he actually ended up winning the 200 in 2025. So he actually ran. But my thing with Kenny is he received the bye because he actually beat everybody there in 2023. It's not like that he just chose not to run. He didn't have to run. That is your award for being a winner. Same thing with Sha'Carri. Sha'Carri doesn't seem to be in shape right now. She will go to the USA Nationals in 100 because she's a defending world champion. So it really doesn't matter what happened at the trials. Hopefully, when it's time to go to Tokyo, she will be in shape. But you can't take that away from her. She actually won. She didn't have to be in the tip top shape for the 100 meters this year at the USA Nationals. She's already going to Tokyo. That's what you get awarded for being a winner. So he actually beat you. Had Kenny won in 2023 in the 200 meters, he wouldn't have to run. But you still have to run because you have to prove yourself. Noah got what you're trying to get. So you don't get no cool points trying to say, oh, he didn't, his legs is fresh and no. Okay. Because also Melissa Jefferson, wouldn't she doubled? She doubled and she ran just as many races as Kenny did. We can look at Gabby. Gabby had just as many races as Noah did. Gabby ran one round of the 100 meters, and then she ran two rounds of the 200 meters, and Melissa still beat her and was able to pull off the double. So again, to me, with Kenny, those are just excuses. Now, I will say this: in the last two Olympics, Kenny did place in front of Noah. He lost at nationals at the USA's, but when we got to the Olympics in 2021 and 2024, he did place in front of Noah, but he still didn't win it at nationals. I believe, to me, the Olympic medal, it wasn't gold, it probably was silver both times, but that Olympic medal trumps whatever happened at USA's, in my opinion. But again, I think that Kenny thought that this was going to be his year, and he was upset and butthurt about it, and I believe that's why he pushed Noah. Now, some speculated that the look that Noah looked over at Kenny was because he was behind this Twitter account, Track Spice. The burner account, Track Spice, was actually a Twitter account, and on that account, they was posting confidential conversations, sharing unauthorized photos, and publicly bad-mouthing and mocking other track and field athletes. Apparently, the Track Spice account made some disparaging remarks about Noah Lyles' girlfriend, Junelle Brumfield. And it was found out that the account was leaked back to Kenny Bednarek, and that is why Noah was looking at Kenny when he crossed the line in the way. That's the reason why he was staring at him. Okay? And people have said that the account could be Kenny or his girlfriend. Now, I actually saw proof from someone that it was linked to Kenny Bednarek, but I don't know if his girlfriend probably had access to the account or what it was. But people in the track and field world and some track and field athletes believe that Kenny Bednarek is behind that account. I do think that this is going to make track and field exciting. From what I understand, on August 20th, Noah and Kenny will race again in the Diamond League race against Kashane Thompson in the 100 meters in the Diamond League. So I'm pretty sure a lot of eyes will be on that race to see what actually goes down. We got the first and second place winner in the Olympics, and I believe Kenny came in seventh at the Olympics. So we'll see. So I'm definitely going to be paying attention to that. But I just want to come on and give my thoughts on the whole situation. I didn't like it either way. I don't really like taunting track and field, but I get it. But I do think that Kenny was out of line for pushing Noah, because that could have ended so bad. And I do think there needs to be some rules and regulations about putting your hands on people on track and field, because again, Noah could have hurt himself. But that's all I got right now. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. I really appreciate the love and support, and I'll see y'all later. Adios.